Welcome to Five Towns College. Welcome to the family. How you doing?
Hi, how you doing? Thank you so much. It's exciting to join this family.
We're more than happy that you're part of, our sport under the sports banner now with all of our other sports. We're proud to see all these student athletes competing, and we're going to have a lot more student athletes coming into fruition with cross country being added. Cross country being added into the mix. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Can you take me back to the process, the conversations you had with our athletic director, Matt Gercio, and making this a reality here at the college?
Yeah, so Matt reached out to me, and came in, and he showed me around and showed me his vision of what he had planned. With this being a new sport and the whole program and the whole athletic program really starting up. What his passion was for this whole program, what was available, and everything is just. It was just sort of an listening to his vision and his passion. It was quite exciting to see, and then sort of left with being like, there's so much that can be done there, and quite exciting.
Yeah, it definitely is. Now, before you became a head coach, as a former student athlete yourself, what inspired you to compete in cross country?
I kind of fell into it a little bit. I originally was a field hockey player, and it just sort of came along that I started running, and then realized that that's where I had a talent, and found that I really had a love for it, and that's I was going to go more places with running than I was with field hockey, so it kind of just was a natural progression into the sport.
I see, I see. And I feel like there's a similarity with field hockey and cross country. You're most of the time you're running, you're focusing on conditioning. And is that one of the main things you prioritize when it comes to training before competing in this type of event?
You definitely want to have a good base and everything. And I think that running helped the field hockey and vice versa. So I may not have been training both of them 100%, but using both sports, they helped each other. I grew up in New Zealand, and it's a different system in New Zealand. It's more club. So you're not stuck to just one sport each season. You can kind of combine the sports. So I was lucky in that way that I could, do both at the same time.
And it's interesting you mentioned your home country, New Zealand, and I know the weather usually it's very warm down there. Now, did you have a hard time transitioning into those different temperatures, going from hot to cold, in regards to conditioning, running, and all that? Was it easy being acclimated to those type of conditions?
No, I I absolutely hate running in the cold. I don't think I owned a pair of running tights before I came here. So luckily, I had some very good teammates that took me down to a running store and showed me all the items I would need as the colder months came in. I have got used to it, but I'm definitely the person with a lot of layers and very, very warm running gloves.
All right, so back to the back to when it comes to the competition aspect of things. How much pressure are you under when competing in this type of event, both mentally and physically?
Um, yeah, that's an interesting one. A lot of it comes from ourselves. We find that the athletes and like just myself, a lot of the pressure will come from us. Like our coaches are normally, have trusted everything that we've done, and they're fine with it all. But the pressure that we put on ourselves makes this sport really challenging. And being that you're just out there and it's just you, and you can't take a time out like you could in basketball or something. If you're having a bad day, everyone sees it. So, you're always your toughest critic in this sport. But, having a good support crew around you and helping you adjust and, see the good parts of every event has always been very helpful, so that you can always find a positive out of any day.
Exactly. It's always important to stay positive, even when when you're competing in a heavy pressurized events like cross country. And speaking of which, you competed at a high level for Stony Brook, and I have a few friends that actually go to the college and play other sports like ice hockey. And most importantly, during that time, you also competed in Olympic trial runs. Wow, that is amazing. Can you tell me that experience and the feelings that you endured during that time when you were competing at that type of prestigious event?
Yes. So the marathon trials came after my time at Stony Brook. So I sort of had slowly developed, like built up to the marathon. My first trials was 2016 in LA, and it was only my second marathon at that stage. So it was still an unknown. But going into those races, you're just surrounded by just amazing athletes and amazing women that just inspire you and everything. So you're just being there and being part of it was always just an amazing experience. And then I was able to go to the 2020 trials in Atlanta. And that experience just outblew LA's experience. The amount of women that were on that starting line, the support that was out there on the crowds, you can't help but just enjoy being there, knowing that where I was, even just making those trials was the achievement for me. So just being there with so many other strong women and watching them all compete and really, cheering on the ones that are really, really going for the Olympic spot. But being able to be part of it was amazing.
Yeah, it definitely sounds incredible. I think anyone would want to be in that spot, just like with that much with an event filled with that much magnitude. It's definitely must have been a special feeling for you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as being now that you're a head coach, and before that you were a student athlete yourself, competing at Stony Brook and competing at different levels, was it a difficult transition going from competing in the sport as a student athlete to then coaching these next generation of student athletes, and you never know what kind of skills they're going to bring to the table? Was that an easy transition going from a student athlete to being a head coach?
For me right now, like the transition has been sort of perfect. I kind of have ended my competitive career. So I also coach just at the local high school there, Half Hollow Hills. I coach field hockey and track. And it kind of just was a natural progression with that. And then this one now, I've ended my serious career of competing, and to be able to pass on now what I've learned and the support that I've had to others, it just sort of has fallen really naturally. And to be able to do this now, it's just really perfect timing. So
That's awesome. And as you begin your new chapter as being a head coach, what is your approach and your mindset with getting your team ready before these type of events?
Making sure they enjoy it, and trying to just take the pressure off them, just knowing how much pressure like I used to put on myself, just being able to sort of like let them know that, they're going into every event in the best shape they can be. And, whatever it is kind of a thing, but, always working on everything, the strengths and the weaknesses, whatever went bad, now we know what we can work on. Like having my own personal background and knowing what an athlete feels like and what they're going through when they're standing on the line, you can sort of help them out. And every athlete's always so different. They all have their different approaches, and it's always interesting to watch how every athlete is. Like some will need the quiet time and they'll sit away. Others just need the noise and everything. And you just sort of learn what each athlete does, and they all just need their own thing, and just being able to adapt to that.
Now, coming into your new chapter of being a head coach and coaching these young athletes that are going to be competing like you did once in your life. I'm trying to get this in the right way possible. who do you try to emulate your coaching style after? Is there a certain type of trainer or head coach in any sports, whether it's cross country, hockey, football, basketball, anything? Is there a certain type of person you look up to where you take those skills and you put it into you and you hone those abilities to your own coaching style?
I don't know if I have one particular person. I think I'm always like out there looking and just seeing what ideas everyone has, and just trying to like take little bits and pieces from what everyone's learned over the years, the experience that I've had, the athletes that I've been coaching now, like what sort of works, what doesn't, and just listening to what other coaches go through and what they deal with, and just taking little bits of it and being able to adapt it to maybe one athlete it might benefit and another one it won't. So I don't think I have one particular coach that I would really follow. I really like to just learn and find out what has been working for people and what people are trying to do. So a little bit of everything.
And it's good to have a little bit of everything. There's always room for variety in every aspect of life. And another important question for you as a recruiter: what do you look for in a student athlete if they want to be a part of this team? Because at the moment, I'm assuming the roster hasn't been finalized yet. You're still in the process of scouting and seeing who could be the right fit to be a part of this team. So as a recruiter, what is your approach when it comes to gathering a group of players and forming a team out of it?
Yeah, so yeah, we got a long way to go to build the program, but we're looking for someone that's excited about the sport, has a passion for it. Those are the kids that are going to want to turn up every single day and get better. And they're the ones that you're going to see the success from. So really people that are committed, not only just to the sport, but to their schoolwork as well, because that's, normally that goes hand in hand. So just looking for the kids that are really like have a passion for it and will get out there and do the little things that need to get done, not just the running part of it. So looking for that. And then team players, like people that want to be part of a team to create like an atmosphere. I mean, we're starting this from scratch. So it's really trying to develop like a team, like, running you're an individual as a runner, but having those teammates around you makes a huge difference. So people that can work together and not be afraid to compete against each other as well, though. So a little bit of that.
All right. And in relation to the foundation of this new program, do we have any idea what division or conference Five Towns College will be competing in during their inaugural season?
So I believe it's the Hudson Valley Conference.
Okay. And all right. And I think that's where most of our other programs have been competing in as well. I guess, yeah. So I guess the next question I wanted to ask: has there been a set date when this program will launch at the college in regards to when the actual season for the program will begin?
I guess with everything that's been going on, there's no exact start, but the plan would be that the 2 weeks before the students go back to school would get a preseason in with the student athletes for 2 weeks beforehand. But for the sport of cross country, if they can start training now and get the summer training in, they're going to be better at the end of the season. So it's a year-round sport, kind of.
Yeah. And it's important that you mentioned, and I think this is something, what you just alluded to is being with the climate that we're in right now, the whole COVID era, and people are, either don't have access to the gyms or they just like can't find a way to, be motivated and, stay motivated in regards to with the way they want to train and stuff. So I guess as an athlete yourself, like how do you stay motivated under circumstances like these when it comes to not being able to train at the gym, but kind of telling yourself, all right, and giving yourself a regime from the ground up so you can stay in shape and train and give yourself those capabilities.
Yeah, I mean, so the beauty with running, you can just go out your door and go. So at least having that, and it's really is creating a routine, like creating a habit out of it. So every morning, you get up, you brush your teeth, now you go for a run as well. So it's creating that habit, and then just slowly adding little bits at a time. It doesn't have to be crazy. Like, every now and then you pick up a weight, you might have something at home that you can use. I mean, YouTube is wonderful these days with all the different like exercise classes that you can find just to be creative, just to get something to get moving, but creating the habit of it. It really is. And I think, I mean, I've been running for so many years that it's just natural. But if you're just starting out, this is definitely a tough time. And now that like I kind of am at the end of my career, but I give credit to all of those athletes out there that are fighting and trying to find a way to stay positive and keep them going. So you just got to find the why you do the sport a little bit, just to get out there, and it doesn't need to be a huge amount, but just a little bit, just each day, consistency.
Gotcha. And that's one thing I try to pride with myself every day is just being consistent, whether it's waking up on time, getting to the gym, or just anything that, I can benefit from that, makes me feel positive. And yeah, that's definitely important what you just said right there. And the last question I want to ask you, what can we expect from this team that will get everyone's attention at the college? This is a question I put upon every one of our new coaches because there is going to be expectations in regards to how a team's going to perform and whether there's going to be some positive feedback or negative feedback. People are going to realize and understand like what this team is going to be about. So I guess, yeah, what are we going to be anticipating from this team going forward?
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough, starting from the scratch, all the new people coming together, trying to like find out where everyone's at fitness wise. They're all going to be at different places, and especially I think because of COVID, they'll be at very different stages. It is, college level, so we do have high expectations, but it could take a few years to really develop a really strong team. And you always go through the ups and downs. It depends who you sort of what happens every year, injuries and stuff. But it would be good to be able to make our name known, like Five Towns College known out there in the conference, and make it to the next level, and have individuals maybe succeed outside, like do other events outside out of the season and watch them succeed as well. So there's a lot of growing room. I mean, we can only go up from here. So it's exciting to have like a clean slate to start with, and just to develop this team, and just for the whole program, the whole department of athletics, seeing where the whole athletic department goes from here. It's an exciting journey.
Absolutely. And we're more than excited to have you here and just to build upon what our sports family is all about. We're looking just to create more memories, moments, and offer a lot of opportunities for these student athletes. To kick off the new year with a new team added to the mix at Five Towns College, we're definitely anticipating a lot of excitement, and it should be fun to witness down the road. So thank you again for taking the time and sharing your story of how you became head coach and or how you're going to become this head coach for the new team after years and years of training and competing in high-level events. This was definitely a fun experience to just listen and talk and hear what you had to say before launching this program here at the college. And for all of us here at Five Towns College, I'm Mike Calandra, signing off, and we'll see you next time for Five Towns College Sports.